Hi, my name is Dana Arnett, co-host of Wicked Marketing, along with my partner, Carlos Cepene. You can find more information about us and our business on LinkedIn, or if you have any questions, email us at info@wickedbionic.com. Subscribe to Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We're also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. Thanks for listening.
Hi, I'm Carlos.
And this is Dana.
So today we're going to talk about refreshing a brand.
Yeah, we had a great, I'll give the lead into this. Carlos and I, it's great in marketing because you come across so many different businesses and different industries. Mm-hmm. And neither Carlos nor I have children. We have dog children, but we do not have children. And wouldn't you know, a client of ours that became our client this last year in 2019, she had a baby brand. And was an industry leader in the baby sector. And we're like, So we dove in, everybody dove in with all arms and feet to really find out and understand the baby market and what that industry was all about. And so we just learned, like, we always knew that we could kind of do the magic for anybody, but it was so fun to do in a whole different segment, right?
And I think that's the thing, right? Like with refreshing a brand, it's not only the segment that you're in, there's a process to it, and that process is applicable to any brand, right? So we've done it in television, we've done it in the health space, we've done it in every possible space. The baby space, I have to admit.
That was something. You should have seen Carlos picking out baby images. It was hilarious. They were building fun stuff. It was really fun.
It's, just because we don't have kids. I'm lucky enough to have had many younger cousins.
But we are kids.
We're babies.
Yeah. Thank God. That was as close as we are kids. And but you know what it was? It was still marketing. Ultimately, it was still industry marketing, a particular person in a particular industry.
Well, yeah. And when you're marketing to a baby brand, you're not marketing to the baby. The
baby's too small to buy.
The baby's too small
to buy. But he will have an embedded Amazon thing in his wrist by the time he's
probably
5.
Yeah.
Right?
So you're marketing to the parents, and it was more about understanding babies' parents.
And the new generation of parents.
Yeah.
Right? The
Well,
millennials.
so I was lucky enough that a couple good friends of mine were having a baby right around the same time.
Right.
So going through the whole understanding, I think he's going through a 4-month sleep regression right now. And I'm like, oh, I know everything about sleep regression.
So you went over there and babysat.
No. I still have problems holding the baby.
That makes me anxious too.
It makes me anxious. It's they're like, we're not gonna break him. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I can twitch.
I can break things easily. I'm a computer programmer.
Yeah.
I know how to break. So the point there is that when you are going to be looking at refreshing your brand, the first step, which was in a previous podcast that we did, is performing a brand audit, right? And you can go listen to that podcast. I'm not going to rehash all of that here, but basically is looking at how is my brand perceived, or how do I want my brand perceived if I'm a new brand, right? And creating a strategy behind how do I get from point A to point B, right? From where I'm at, how I'm being perceived right now, and how I want to be perceived.
And you can be that if you're, this is not somebody that has not launched their business yet. This is somebody that's existing in the marketplace, really, we're speaking about. Yeah. And this particular person really was in an industry and wanted to find the viability of staying in the industry and really growing in a way. And we, as
in an industry that this brand created.
Right. Created the industry. And what was so great with Carlos and I to have the team on that first meeting with the client is that it's the best to have fresh eyes. That's all I can say, because we saw all that it was and all that it could transition into being. If you remember that first day, it was like magic, and the client had lost the vision. That's all it was.
So when you're going to do a brand refresh, it's not just, hey, let me go on Fiverr and get someone to design my logo or make changes to my logo and give me some like 10 samples for me to pick from. Oh my God, that's like the worst way.
If you got that one person in there, like that was that cheap person that just had some magic before they got discovered, that'd be lucky. Yeah. It's a lot of dollars though.
No. There's like a website called 99 Designs.
Oh, like 99-cent store?
Basically, where you go and you say, okay, I want a logo. Here's my guideline to what the logo is. And you literally get 99 designs options. And then you
clip art.
Yeah. Literally.
Okay. So we're not talking about those business owners. Because
narrow that down. Believe me, there's business owners that have $1 million businesses that go to 99 designs.
And I want to say, that's the thing. Carlos and I, we have really good taste around things. We're an agency. We do craft things from scratch. We have a creative director, Kathy Fazio. Like, she's spectacular. She's been in the entertainment space for years, and she's brilliant. So we always love the process of doing something that is beautiful, that is, that really we go deep into not just the look, but what it means for the brand. So doing all those other things, have at it for sure, but as an agency, that would be really sad if that's what we deliver as a logo exploration to a client. So we just have that, whatever.
So when you're looking at your brand refresh, you want to figure out not only your logo, right? If it's the right fit, if it's still applicable, if it needs a refresh, your brand colors, figuring out if the colors that you're using are the colors that are there's a science behind color, and there's an emotion behind color. So choosing the right colors for your brand is more important than you could ever think. And so part of what we do when we do a brand refresh is create a color palette for the brand. And the reason why you need a color palette that extends beyond the colors that are in your logo are A, because they have to complement the colors of your logo, and B, because there's way more uses for color. Yeah,
sure. Every platform is going to need it. If you're writing a book, it's all got to be tied into the same look and feel.
If you have a logo that is 2 colors, you can't have an entire website that's 2 colors.
Black and white.
Yeah, a black and white website. That's going to look great. So you need to select colors that are complementary to each other, that can work in different environments. You should always look at your logo in 3 types: the color version, the black version, and the white version of your logo. And if your logo doesn't work on all 3, it's not the right logo.
And that's because it's used in different instances. Yeah. Right. Not always in full color.
Yeah. It's not the right logo for you.
Right.
As much as you may love it.
Right. And literally we've done where we took that one client, they did not want to pay for it because they were plastered everywhere. They did not want to pay for a brand new design on the logo. But all we did was we just took what they had, the same colors, and we made it pop. We made it a little bit brighter, a little bit more 3D, less flat. But you never would have known to all their other advertising that it had changed. It had just gotten refreshed. And
that's the thing. You also, when you do your brand audit, you want to make sure that you're not moving in a direction that's departing from something that people
that's
love.
Working. That's working.
I remember when we were rebranding E Entertainment, and the white E came out. It's now that white or silver E that it is now. A lot of the feedback from people was that wasn't E anymore, because the red from E was the red from the red carpet.
Right.
And at the end of the day, E had already transitioned away from the red carpet. It's still a big piece,
but it's not what it's thought of anymore.
But
no,
I mean, it's thought of as the Kardashian network now. But they wanted to modernize it in a way that it felt more glitzy, more glamoury, which I think now, hindsight, it was efficient at doing that. The new E, but there's still a sense to that red E. When I see the red E somewhere, that's the E that I used to watch.
It's bold,
you know? That's the E that I used to watch when I was younger. That's the one. There's memories attached to that color.
Why Coca-Cola doesn't change.
Coca-Cola will never change out of that red.
Why should
that?
That
is the Coca-Cola red.
Yeah.
You know, I believe it's actually registered as the Coca-Cola.
Right, and I think they've done other iterations when it's the Apple Coca-Cola or whatever. It doesn't have the same cachet.
No. So they'll never move away from that. I'm sure they've spent billions of dollars in studies of why they're doing that. The other thing that you can do is if you need to clarify anything in your message, use a tagline, right? Use a tagline that make it a super complex tagline. But if you're completely afraid of changing your name, because there is a lot that goes into changing a name.
Well, wait, I want to say something that you said, because we had to do that. Wicked Bionic. Everybody loves the name. What does it mean? What do you do? And so instead of explaining that, certainly for platforms and stuff, we just put our tagline was branding, strategy, execution.
Yeah.
Because it said exactly what we do, and we could have used any kind of a tag, but especially if what you do isn't understood by what the name of your company is.
And that's the thing. You don't always have to move away from a good name because it doesn't say what you do. Right. So
put an awesome tagline.
Just put an awesome tagline to it, and don't make it complex for people to understand that. Make it something that can work with your logo in any environment. But also when you're going through a brand refresh, you want to think about not only your logo, your colors, your tagline, you want to think about your language, the messaging, the text that's on your website. Who are you talking to? Because in this particular example that we were talking about, this use case of this baby brand, the baby brand has been around for so long that the age group that it was targeting has aged out.
Right, they're not moms anymore. Yes, they're grandparents
now. Or they are parents to children that are now
teenagers. And long beyond.
So millennials, as everyone knows, because everyone talks about it, are very different than Gen Xers and Boomers. And Gen Z is different from millennial.
Totally, yes.
Completely, too. They're activists. So when you rebrand or refresh a brand or anything that has to do with your brand, the messaging has to be crafted to target the people that are the right audience now and 5 years in the future for your brand, because you're not going to rebrand all the time. And if you're rebranding all the time, there's a bigger problem with your brand.
You're going to be updating text and messages, but yes.
But so in this case, for this client, our target was now millennial and moms. Gen Z moms.
Moms and dads, really, but moms.
And then we had to look at how are they going to engage with the brand? Where are they going to engage? I mean, there's the obvious things like mobile first, right? So every piece of the brand had to be designed for mobile first and then for desktop. We also know that these are people that grew up with a digital device in hand that don't trust teachers and parents as much as they trust people on social media.
Their friends or
what they learn from their social environment is really the teacher now. So meaning, in the case of moms, what they learn from other moms that are on social that have the same kind of problems or are perceived to have the same kind of problems that they do. And also how to communicate with them visually, not only through messaging, but visually, because these parents, the millennial parent, because they grew up in the era of the depression, the new depression, right? They are far more thrifty in how they do things, but they're also, because their parents had to hold multiple jobs in order to subsist with all the problems in the economy, they grew up with grandparents, or with caregivers or other, like schools or whatever, because the parents couldn't be there. So they want to be there for their kids.
Right.
So using them in imagery where it's not only cute pictures of babies, it's pictures of babies interacting with the parent.
Right.
Because the emotional connection, you're not making it with the baby. The baby's not on the phone.
Right. And especially a mom
Looking
seeing a
at
picture of another mom. There's just so much love and
loving her baby and another dad. And I think this brand was very with the times.
Yeah, for sure.
Selecting. So we have imagery once the brand launches, we have imagery of the parents with tattoos, or lesbian couples, or gay couples, or it's just, and the gamut, right, of diversity.
Right.
Asian parents and Hispanic parents, and obviously white parents as well. To
show what our culture is made of.
Yeah, a reflection of the culture, but also a reflection of an honest reflection,
right,
of the environment. So that's sort of what a brand refresh is really about. It's not only changing your logo, changing the colors,
changing your message, and I think that is one of the big things is like, I think Carlos's point that he was making earlier that, sometimes, before, for this particular, the millennial generation and those around it, young parents, it's really sharing knowledge as opposed to telling them. Mm-hmm. So that's something that we recrafted, not coming from that place of authority so much as sharing ways to integrate.
And that's the thing. They're more, the millennial and Gen Z generations are more about, because they come from the world of existence of sharing, more about storytelling.
Right.
Telling them, this is what happened, this is an actual story, this is something real that happened, and this is how we addressed it, and this solution is something that you can try. Versus saying, here are 5 solutions that you can try, which is what,
right.
Right.
So knowing your audience as you craft that new text or whatever it is for every platform or for your website, super fun things to kind of look at. And there's so much availability of research on doing things like this and refreshing your brand. And there, of course, I'll say the logo. We'll start with the logo, but there's many other things as we were talking about. So see if you need a refresh.
Go look at your refresh.
See you later.
For listening today. Don't forget to subscribe to and share Wicked Marketing on Apple Podcasts and write an awesome review for us. We are also on iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Google Play. See you next time.